Restaurants can't lower prices anymore, but they're empty. What did you mean by that?
This might actually be the most misleading headline of all time.
What?
Over the last 2 years, major restaurant chains across America have sat empty for too long, and now they're being forced to close their doors for good. But the reason for all of this might surprise you, because these restaurants didn't go broke because of endless shrimp or inflation, and we can't actually blame it all on private equity either. So what really caused these iconic chains to
Guys, I'm not gonna lie. Now that I now have a stream where I don't have the sound clips on anymore for people to like redeem, has it not been so much more smoother of like watchability? Like I don't hear any like, I don't know, it's just so much better, isn't it? I genuinely feel the difference actually.
down? And why does eating at a restaurant feel almost pointless and overpriced in 2025?
I just want to know when is this.
Dude, I feel like in the Philippines, I can't feel the difference with the rest. It's getting a little bit higher, but not higher to the point where I can't. Like, you know what I mean? It's, Is there a big difference when it comes to your restaurants in your country?
Society we got to this point.
When did fast food restaurants become the same price as a 5-star restaurant?
We cannot.
What? That's not a thing here. I go to family-owned restaurants. Yeah, for sure. Yes. What?
Go out to lunch or dinner without spending $50+, and we don't even drink.
At Chili's!
In 1969, this man had an idea. At the time,
In the US, it's cheaper to eat in a dine-in restaurant than fast food. What? It's like $50. $50 for what? Fish and chips? Oh hell no!
restaurants received
Why did you do that? What sound like perfectly like that 1 Minion clip? Oh,
all of their ingredients from all over the place. They had their beef supplier who brought the burger patties, they had their produce supplier who brought the lettuce,
true.
and they had their dairy farmer who brought fresh milk. As you can
Right.
imagine, this was anything but efficient. And it was even harder on the suppliers who had to find customers, supply them with what they needed when they needed it,
I don't get it. I feel like America's like one of those lands where farming shouldn't be an issue and like finding a farmer shouldn't be hard. So why is it so hard to get local, I don't know, local stuff? Why does it have to be from other countries?
and sell their product at a decent price. But it was all they knew at the time, until John Baugh came along. He realized that there was strength in numbers, and by coming together as a group of suppliers, they would be able to control the market. So in 1969, he merged 9 different regional food
Capitalism.
distributors under one roof and called it Systems and Services Company, otherwise known today as
Cisco.
Oh!
In 1970, he took the company public and started his all-out assault on the U.S. Food Network. By 1981, Cisco became the largest distributor in America and continued swallowing up regional players piece by piece, leaving us today with 2 major food suppliers we see
Never
every day
knew.
in every restaurant parking lot: Cisco and US Foods. Cisco even tried to buy US Foods in 2013, but it was eventually blocked by the government because of the risk of a monopoly. Now, I don't say all of this to give you a random history lesson.
I had no idea that the government can step in and like make it where you can't make a deal. I didn't know that's a thing.
But this series of acquisitions and takeovers is the very foundation of the problem we're seeing today. Because once you control the supply to every restaurant,
I agree,
you
it's a
get
good
to make
thing.
the rules.
Thank God.
And that's exactly what Cisco is doing.
I just didn't
if
know
we
that
take a look
they
at this
actually...
chart, we start to see some
Okay,
hints as to
dude,
what
even if I know it's a law or something or whatever, but let's be real. It's such a rare thing. You know what I mean? It's so rare. I never see it used that much. Or maybe I just never noticed that it's used.
what is going on. As we all know, in 2020, the restaurant industry was all but decimated because no one was eating out, which meant Cisco saw a pretty severe drop in earnings, which was to be expected. But in 2022, once restaurants were open again, we see something interesting. Cisco saw a 159% increase in earnings, which feels a little off because we were all there in 2022. It wasn't like the restaurant industry just exploded overnight and everybody was
Right.
dining out again. In fact, inflation was running wild at the time and everything was way more expensive, which meant most people didn't have the money to spend on a night out, but Cisco continued to grow. And the reason for this is a strategy they created in late 2021. As their costs increased in price, Cisco stopped focusing on their overall profit margin and instead moved their attention to gross profit per case. This allowed them to raise individual prices on actual units of food, like a box of lettuce, passing on about 13.5% of the inflation spike to the restaurants, which in turn led to a massive jump in revenue for
But they were already earning so much anyway. Do they really need that fucking like jump? Or is it because of the inflation rate going so high that they wanted that jump?
Cisco. But that alone isn't the reason the restaurants are going out of business.
Oh, think about the shareholders. Oh, my bad. I forgot to think about the billionaires. I forgot to think about the millionaires. My bad.
Revenue jumped, Cisco didn't suddenly see a spike in actual profit because all of their costs increased as well, from delivery fees to storage fees and everything in between. But the spike does explain why everything tastes the same now. When you open a restaurant and register your account,
Yes, I have noticed that in EU specifically, like in some UK stuff. And I was like,
Cisco,
huh,
which
why
you-
does every like this like taste the same?
pretty much have to do because they're the only option. You receive
And I always thought that it was just their seasoning and the way they cook it and whatever, but maybe it's actually just like. Actually, no, it's probably that.
a catalog. That catalog contains just about any item you could ever need for your restaurant. Burger patties, fresh lettuce, cheese, mozzarella sticks, pre-made beef Wellingtons. You get the idea. And you're gonna pay the price that Cisco decides because you can't really shop around. But in order to have a catalog this big, you need some fancier ingredients. And these fancy ingredients are designed for logistics, not necessarily taste. For example, do you ever wonder why all pizza chains have perfectly melted cheese? Their crust might be different, their boxes are definitely different, but the cheese is always perfect. I've personally made a lot of pizzas at home and I've never achieved the picture perfect cheese pull you get from a fresh Domino's or Pizza Hut pizza. Well, there's actually a reason for this. There's this company in Denver that's been making cheese for over 75 years. And their sole focus is mozzarella. You've probably never heard of them, but they supply almost every major pizza chain in America. And their main goal
Dude, I want to try American food so bad.
is to optimize cheese to its maximum potential. Leprino Foods has over 50 patents on their cheese, from how it melts to how it's made, and how they can pre-shred it and ship it 3,000 miles to a pizza chain without it going
It's so mid. From all the videos I've ever seen of like home cooked family owned restaurants in America, I think they all look great.
bad. And because they own the market, they pick the price. Similar to Cisco, the restaurants just kind of have to deal with it or somehow piece together a nationwide network of smaller suppliers while trying to create a uniform experience across all of their locations. As you can imagine, this is pretty much impossible for a nationwide chain, which is what forces the restaurants to use the monopolies in the industry.
What? Really? You need to try the smaller mom pop shop. They're so fucking good. That's literally what I was talking about.
Making them bigger and stronger while
America has some awful food safety laws. I live in the Philippines where a delicacy or like a poor delicacy is to eat the scraps of other people's food in chicken. You think I give a shit about like some food laws? I'm like the last person to give a shit about that.
we're left eating the same food just on a different plate at all these major restaurants. But if there's one business model that loves standardization, that's private equity. Now, private equity is the typical scapegoat for situations like these.
Never
failing
tried it,
restaurants.
though, but still.
Basically taking a good thing, stripping it down to the bare minimum, and then running it into the ground at the expense of the consumer. But in this case,
I've always wanted to try an authentic New York style pizza. Escrima, because of 15 months.
it's not necessarily the sole reason for these restaurant failures, but it is a piece to the puzzle. Red Lobster, TGI Fridays, and Hooters are some of the more recognizable chains that were owned by private equity, and they all filed for bankruptcy at some point over the last 5 years. Each of these chains fell victim to the classic private equity playbook, which, to PE's credit, does work sometimes. In these cases, it didn't. If we return to Red Lobster, we see the perfect example. Golden Gate Capital bought Red Lobster in 2014 for $2.1 billion and immediately sold off all of the real estate that the restaurant sat on. This added a massive line item to every restaurant location because they were now having to pay rent on the land that they used to own. This is a classic move PE will make to try to bring in immediate cash after an acquisition, and sometimes it works, but most of the time it severely impacts the underlying business. In this case, it didn't really work out for them.
Oh my god, what's going on? Why are you guys arguing? Are we gonna play League again? All of the chat is wrong. It's not capitalist. It's called the Drift Dilemma. This is why we have inflation since 1970 without raises in wages. Chad loves scapegoating instead of actually criticizing the policies behind this. Why are you... Dude, people are just like not even taking this kind of serious. I'm gonna tell you something, and I think you need to like know this. Majority of the chat is just chilling and not wanting to start an actual talk. Unless I'm asking questions and whatever, we're just literally chilling and watching a video just to learn about what's going on and stuff like that. I'm not gonna sit down here and be like, oh my god, this is actually the Triflin's dilemma. Yeah, no, I'm probably not gonna do that unless I ask. Like, when they said capitalism, it was just a joke. It wasn't actually that deep. I think you're thinking a little bit too deep to it.
And they ended up selling 49% of the company to a seafood
And I don't even think what he said was wrong. I just think that the fact that he was like, oh, chat, was just kind of like, you know, come on, be respectful, bro.
Called Thai Union. And Thai Union can be thanked for the endless shrimp deal. As a seafood supplier, they thought they could cash in on both their seafood and their new restaurant chain by pushing an...
Yeah, it's your tone, dude. Like, even if what you're saying is correct, and it's literally the tone that you're saying, like, oh my god, of course chat is saying that, like, it's capitalism. But when you didn't even understand it, it was just like a joke.
Limited daily special of bottomless shrimp. What they didn't realize was the power of TikTok and YouTube.
Today, we're going to Red Lobster trying their all-you-can-eat shrimp deal. Let's go.
Red Lobster has an all-you-can-eat endless shrimp deal for $20. Let's get it.
Now we got the crispy dragon shrimp over here. Ooh, as you can see, this one looks like nicely glazed, big piece of shrimp.
I ate all 8 of them.
For $20, you get a pretty good deal.
Prior to the Thai Union acquisition, Red Lobster had a pretty diverse...
Is Red Lobster only an American diner? Because I've never seen this before, never heard of it before.
You just don't get it, chat.
First network of seafood suppliers. They did this specifically to keep their costs down and not be under the control of
it's only a US thing. Okay. Oh, it's in Canada as well. Okay, so it's NA.
Entity. But PE does what PE does, and they were forced to standardize everything and consolidate their suppliers. This consolidation in turn leads to higher prices because the main suppliers like Cisco and US Foods know you have nowhere to go, and they can just push you around and tell you what you're going to pay. Between selling off real estate, consolidating suppliers, and just overall...
Yo, Mark Zaremba, thank you so much for the tier 3 for 4 months.
All poor decision making.
Yeah, so I feel like this is like a bigger chain in America because like maybe seafood isn't as like common and cheap, but bro, I can get like a crab meal for really cheap or lobster for really cheap. It's not like a crazy cuisine to like go for. You know what I mean? Like, I know in America it's like a delicacy if you're able to like eat lobster, I think. Or is that not true?
Restaurants like Red Lobster, Hooters, and TGI Fridays have all but faded into the background of the American mind, leaving
Fresh
us
seafood
with
is pretty
countless
expensive.
fast
That's
casual
rough.
restaurants and slot bowls that are now all starting to taste and look the same. And as prices have increased and margins have gotten tighter and tighter, restaurants have been forced to hire logistics consultants and supply chain managers. Because it's no longer important to just order what you need every week. It's now a game of cost reduction, shelf life management, and product consistency, while flavor falls to the bottom of the list. Instead of a chef making the menu, it's the consultants designing something that is easy to supply and the least likely to be recalled.
Jesus, that's rough. That is extremely rough.
After all, we all know what happened at Chipotle in 2015.
Breaking news, the CDC now investigating another outbreak of E. coli linked.
Oh my god, I remember that news!
to Chipotle.
More cases have been reported in the Northwest.
I remember
Dozens
that.
Of
No
restaurants
way.
temporarily closed, and now the company is taking aggressive action to get to the bottom of that outbreak.
Chipotle is a prime example of something that was once great turning into just another bland bowl because of incentive.
Oh my god, dude. I can't. Brother. At least one person knows a bit why
I know
chicken
what
costs.
happened in the Chipotle toilet after I went there.
Fabulous! Like it's a 4 month. At least one person knows a bit more why chicken wings cost $2 a piece. That's a win for me. Dude, this guy's like, the way that he talks is crazy. All of chat is wrong. Chat loves scapegoating. Holy dude, you are not the vibe. My lord. Dude, I'm sorry, but like, I'm just gonna leave him in chat because I think it's hilarious, but like, whatever.
After the E. coli outbreak in 2015, Chipotle had to rethink how they did things, and instead of shipping every individual restaurant fresh ingredients, and
Fighting
raw meat
demons, like nobody's even talking to him, bro. And then he's like, what are you doing? Hi, do you think I'm cool? Yes, Russell, I think you're cool. How are you doing? How's the holidays? Are you hanging out with your girlfriend?
cooked on site. They started pre-cooking, pre-shredding, and pre-chopping everything in a central location. And then
yeah, that's crazy to me. I can't imagine if ever you're just starting a restaurant, you can't like even like control the things that you do because you're pretty much stuck to this like ordeal.
shipping all the pre-made items to the restaurant, who then just reheat it and serve it to us. And
damn, that's fucked.
Chipotle isn't the only one. This is now a common practice among most restaurants because it's the least likely way to get sued. But most of the time, it's the most likely way to make food that all taste the same, which leaves you and me with the choice of deciding which overpriced slot bowl to get today that isn't even fresh. But the saddest part of the decline in restaurants is that it doesn't just
The seafood isn't fresh? What do you mean?
affect the nationwide chains who are forced to standardize. It also hurts the local mom and pop restaurants in your area because they're all forced to buy from either Cisco or US Foods.
Frozen.
They don't have any bargaining power. When you're a nationwide chain like Chipotle, you have enough pull to argue for lower prices. But when you're a one-off restaurant, you just have to pay what they tell you. And when they're passing on 13% price hikes because of inflation, it could put you out of business. But beyond that problem, we as consumers have standardized bland food. These national chains have set a new low baseline for consumer.
I remember this. I saw so many people on Twitter like complain, like they truly, in TikTok, they truly believe that if you order from Chipotle, you have to take a video of them like making your order so that they can like put like the whole food or something like that. Like they're like no, put more of that, and then you have to like take a video of it so that they could like actually make the whole bowl or something like that. It was like a whole drama thingy.
Expectations, leaving us just wanting fast, consistent, and cheap food. So your local sandwich shop that makes the best sandwich you've ever had has to charge more, which in turn drives most customers away in 2025. This leads us to a decline in new people wanting to become chefs in America because they don't get paid, they don't get to make the menu themselves, and they work a ridiculously stressful job. Whether or not you've noticed the decline in restaurant goers or the increase in prices, it's hard not to argue that buildings and signs that were pinnacles of our community are slowly disappearing. Some of them for good reason, but for the others, it's almost like we're seeing these bad decisions that were made finally coming to a head all at once. After all, restaurants are notoriously some.
Guys, I have a genuine question. What is stopping people from actually just talking to a local farm or something like that? Or are there no like privately owned farms anymore? Is it all just like corpo or what is it? Money, cost, what local farm? Local farms all have contracts with big companies. Oh. Food is expensive unless you order in bulk. Yeah, but in a restaurant, you're gonna order in bulk, right? And then you have an agreement. This is how much you need and stuff like that, or
of the hardest businesses to run, no matter what level you're at. And I hope after this video, you understand that it can't be boiled down to just one villain. Sure, private equity played a part, Cisco played a part, and inflation definitely had its impact. But if we bring it together, it's on us as the consumers to fix this problem. You have to stop buying.
The thing that stopped people from is that food safety and sanitation requirements to make it a royal pain in the ass to farm for restaurants. Local farms can supply enough for year-round service. True.
low quality, logistically optimized food, and start spending your money where it matters. If you want more good restaurants, you need to support the good restaurants and force the market to compete on taste and quality again, not just on who can serve the fastest, most convenient meal.
Wow, I can't believe that this is an issue right now.
I hope you enjoyed this video. This is going to be the—
Oh yeah, I forgot about that whole farmer like drama thingy as well about the seeds. That was crazy.
last one for 2025, and I truly cannot understate how grateful I am for each and every one of you for watching these videos. It's been a dream of mine since I was a kid to have a YouTube channel, and I still kind of pinch myself every day that this is what I get to do for work now. Starting this channel 9 months ago, I never would have expected we would be where we are today with over 82,000 subscribers, over 11 million views,
the
and
GMOC
I feel
problem,
like we're just getting started. The videos are only going to get bigger, better, and more in-depth from here.
Damn, W.